Player of the year a few seasons back when they went to the finals. Percy Hawkins looking to create his own shot. Gets it.
All right, Bob.
Thanks so much. Seattle with the ball and a 15-point lead, which Percy Hawkins can't increase. And the ball goes out of bounds to the Sonics.
It's that first possession, you see they run the play to get Hawkins the shot, but more importantly, you see the Rockets bobble the ball out of bounds again. Not a good sign for Rudy T's team right there to lose possession of that ball.
Aaron Williams thought about it, then decides better of it, gives it up to Payton. Look at this shot for Gary Payton. Rebound volleyballed around. Aaron Williams comes away with it, and he'll come to the free throw line, barely missing a chance for a three-point play. And right away, even though we've only played 29 seconds, all the energy is with the Sonics. Coming up next on NBC, Batman Forever, starring Val Kilmer, Nicole Kidman, and Jim Carrey. Batman Forever, after the NBA on NBC.
You know, Bob, one of the things that happened, too, after the Utah game the other night, Houston came right into Seattle and had basically 2 days here, and I never liked that as a coach to spend too much time in the city before you play. These guys are used to coming in, maybe having a day playing and getting out. They appear to be very sluggish from the couple days here, out of their routines where you played so many games in a week's period of time.
Aaron Williams makes them both. Cuttino Mobley tried the reverse, and he was fouled.
See, all of a sudden, no quick three-point shots after 3 for 16 in the first half. Cuttino Mobley that time drives the ball right to the basket and gets the foul.
Mobley and Dickerson have had their moments earlier this season, but for the most part, not today. Here they are, blowing into town to the strains of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Mostly they've been good, but in this first half, all of the Rockets have found it both bad and ugly. Our graphics department, nonetheless, was anxious to get that bit of business in. A lot of production values. We tip our cap to them. Here's Hawkins. Out to Schrempf. His jumper. Way off. Out of bounds to Houston, and that was ugly, too. But not much has fit that description so far for the Sonics, which is why Schrempf can afford to smile. Elijah on a quiet first half, just 6 points. Leans in, tries the up and under with the left hand, now the follow, and he'll come to the free throw line. He had 32 points in their loss at Utah on Thursday and managed to get off 25 shots, but just 6 points in today's first half.
Well, if you take the last 8 minutes of the game against Utah the other night and the first half, they've been outscored by 30 points by their last two opponents. Not a good sign for the Rockets, so they need to be able to get themselves in sync here once again. Bob, you talk about so much about the importance of home court advantage in the West, and Elijah Wan, you can see his game is picking up. Now, he did a lot of running in the offseason to get his legs right, but I think the lifting and all the things he's doing now with Scottie Pippen and Barkley are getting him back on top of his game.
The team makes the vote. Sonics by 13. Schrempf looking for Payton. Holiday. Battling on the boards. Schrempf. Payton for 3. The rebound across the rim to Barkley. Get out of here! And as Payton pounds Barkley right in front of us, you can hear Charles say, "Get out of my face!" Mobley out to Pippen. Now Elijah in the lane. And he scores.
So they have to be very careful of Seattle because they're going to go inside to Elijah. If he gets it going, they're going to have to go back and get the ball out of his hands.
The lead is down to 11. And the pace has slowed, which is not what the Sonics had in mind. Hollidays tried to find Williams. It was touched last by a Rocket.
Well, that's a great point. But what's happening is now the Rockets are scoring, so it's becoming a half-court game. Shooting a poor percentage in the first half, Seattle could run.
4 seconds to shoot. Schrempf will. Well, they can get it into single digits if they score here. Williams left alone on him. Now the help comes from Payton. Barkley turns and shoots, and the bank is closed. The rebound of Payton. All the way. No foul called. Colonies, though, is on the offensive glass. The miss out of the corner by Payton. He gets it back. Still can't score, but a whistle.
Gary Payton has got his shooting arm attached today, Bob. He's shooting every time he sees any kind of daylight at all. See him where he misses the three and can't wait to get it back. Actually, the ball, great hustle play by Shrimp there to knock it loose, and he tries to get it closer, and this time you see Olajuwon hit him on the arm.
In the first half, the Sonics shot 20 of 40 at even 50%. They're 0 for 8 from the floor in the second half, and now can't buy one at the free throw line.
Gary Payton, now we've only gotten into 3 minutes here and 5 seconds of the third period. He's already taken 20 shots.
Gary Payton, the #2 pick overall in the 1990 NBA draft out of Oregon State. The first pick was Syracuse's Derek Coleman by the Nets. I'd say the Sonics did better. Payton now walks away. Steve Javie made him wait too long, at least in Gary's mind, to get the ball back. 1 of 2.
Remember now, one of the woes of Seattle all year long has been their poorest shooting, so the Rockets can get back into this game if they'll become more efficient on the offensive end and force the Sonics to play half-court basketball.
Hawkins on Dickerson. Olajuwon, determined to be more of a factor offensively. You can see that right away as the second half begins.
So he's going quickly with the ball where Charles is holding it.
Williams misses off the Shrimp pass, and here comes Pippen. It's a 10-point Seattle lead. Scotty, a little bump, and he cuts it to 8.
See, the problem Seattle has there, Bob, with this attack is they have 2 non-shooters on the floor, Aaron Williams and Powney, so they can really help on those guys. Those guys are missing open shots.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Idle coming down the stretch here.
The Sonics scored first at the outset of the third quarter, increasing their lead to 17. Now it's down to 8. Hawkins had it poked away. He regains it. 2 seconds to shoot. Shrimp beats the horn and connects.
That's a big shot right there. The Rockets were starting to get some momentum, and those broken plays sometimes will get you.
That was Seattle's first second-half field goal. They're now 1 of 10 from the floor in this third quarter. Barkley just holding it. Now finds Dickerson, who misses the foul line jumper, and Williams takes it. Payton weaves his way through a crowd. Colonies over Olajuwon.
I think he's 0 for 8 or 9 now in the game.
Mobley sprinting back for the layup as he got back ahead of the field, and suddenly the Rockets, who trailed by 17, are hanging right in, down by 8. Pippen on Shrimp. Payton against the rookie Mobley. Colonies. The Rockets are just thrilled when he takes that shot.
But again, they're playing 3-on-5 because Aaron Williams and Colonies are not going to make shots. So the Rockets can really gamble. Anytime you see Payton or Shrimp or Hersey Hawkins, they can double team and force the ball to go to these other guys.
Olden Colonies is 0 for 8 from the floor in this game.
See, that's where you miss a Ben Baker. You have him out there. Now you got 4 offensive threats instead of 3.
Baker, with a partially torn ligament in his right thumb, hopes to play sometime this week, but not ready yet. He's missed 8 games already. They're 3 and 5 with him out. Hawkins tries to go up and under and loses it. Mobley is fouled. He'll shoot 2 with a chance to cut the lead to just 6.
See, the thing I like about Mobley and Dickerson, they make adjustments. And instead of living behind that three-point line like they did in the first half, you see them driving the ball to the basket. Dickerson's driven it in there. Mobley, this is the second time now he's going to the free throw line. Get yourself involved getting to the free throw line. Don't live by that home run the whole time.
Mobley, the rookie from Rhode Island. Dickerson in his rookie year out of Arizona. The foul a moment ago on Aaron Williams was his 4th. He goes out. Vladimir Stepanya comes in. And Dale Ellis replaces Hersey Hawkins at the same time.
Now see, Stepanya can make those open shots, so if they'll move the basketball, he now can spot up and hit that little 10 and 12-foot jump shot, whereas Aaron Williams will give them good energy but can't make jumpers.
Houston right back in it. Stepanya. Barkley claims it. So Stepanya wasted no time getting off a shot. Open is Mobley. And Coutinho Mobley with a three-pointer that cuts it to 56-53. They made up 14 points in about 6 minutes.
Gary Payton says, you know what, we need a basket. Nobody's getting it done at her. I'm going to have to score.
He has 25. Olajuwon finding Pittman underneath. Now Mobley open. Missing the 3 short. Barkley is there to finish. Charles has only 7 points, but he has 12 rebounds. Payton on the move. It won't fall for him. They could tie it with a 3. Pippen flips it inside to Barkley. This is a 1-point game.
Notice the difference in energy, though, by the Rockets. I mean, they now are coming with a purpose. The Sonics are missing the shots that they made a lot in the first half. The momentum totally is swung now back to the Houston Rockets. See the ball movement. Mobley spotting up for the 3 after driving to the basket and getting himself back involved in the game. You're going to see Barkley clean up the offensive rebound and stick it back here with the left hand off the glass. And then Scottie Pippen with a gorgeous play, an unselfish play where he passes up the jump shot. Scottie's got it. Unselfishly gives it to Barkley, who lays it in, and we now have a 1-point game.
The Rockets on a 21-5 run, and you're watching the NBA on NBC.
The Rockets, more energy, better defense, led to better ball movement, higher scoring, and shooting. You see Olajuwon in the lane, Mobley on the layup attempt, and he gets the score. The miss, Barkley cleans that up and lays the ball in the basket. And then Scottie Pippen once again with the unselfish. Easy scores created by their defense and better player movement, ball movement here in this third quarter.
Especially with Vin Baker out. Do the Sonics have too many of their eggs on this Easter Sunday in one basket? I mean, Payton is just 1 for 6 in this third quarter after shooting 9 for 16 in the first half. He's played every minute of this game. Westphal can't afford to rest him for even a minute. Here's Polynice, who's now 0 for 9 with that miss. Barkley has the rebound, and the Rockets look to take the lead. Surrounded by Payton and Polynice. 5 seconds to shoot. Pippen's free, and the Rockets have the lead.
It's amazing how they've turned it on here in this third quarter. That was a great pass from Mobley to Pippen underneath the basket.
That is Houston's first lead of the entire game. Dale Ellis has the 3 rattle out. Back come the Rockets. Barkley out to Dickerson. Misses the 3. Here's John Crotty on the move. And he was fouled on the play as there was contact with Coutinho Mobley.
Out behind the three-point line, he gets in behind the defense, and the strong finish that gives the Rockets a one-point lead.
Foul number 1 on Mobley. Sonic ball from the side. After shooting 50% in the first half, they're 2 for 17 in the third quarter. Trent, baseline jumper. Way off. Air ball. Grabbed by Olajuwon.
Pippen bothered that from behind, Bob, just enough to force him into the mix.
Olajuwon's jumper isn't there, but Dickerson is. Dickerson left alone. And Schrempf collects the carry. Here comes Payton. Prodding. Schrempf for 3. And Daniel Schrempf finally puts an end to a long Rocket run.
Now, you say, how can a guy hit that shot after he just shot an air ball by about 5 feet on the baseline? Bob, you got to keep shooting.
Jelani McCoy, the rookie from UCLA, has just come in for the Sonics. He wears number 34. Olajuwon spun right by him and then was fouled. The foul is on McCoy. That's his first. Not an active shooting foul. Rocket ball from the side.
Now, Jelani McCoy is a great leaper, great shot blocker. Watch Olajuwon pump fake him, get him in the air when he goes for the shot block.
And he strips it away from him. Here's Payton.
Defense creates offense. It's the way it always is. That's the way it'll always be. And that's what Seattle has to do. They have to force some turnovers. Rudy T says, I want to stop it here right now and get a timeout.
Jelani McCoy turning in a good play a moment ago. Paul Westphal says it was sure he'll make rookie mistakes, but he's the kind of kid who'll stick his nose in there. He did that time defensively against Olajuwon, stripped him. It led to the Payton layup.
Been in a great little strip there, and then he picks it up, advances it out of the pack, and makes a nice pass to Gary Payton, running the floor for a layup. This gives the Sonics a 4-point lead with about 1:59 to go, and I'm not so sure this is not a good time for Paul Westphal to give Gary Payton a 2-minute rest at this quarter, because you've got a little bit of a lead. You're going to need him to finish the game. You would get the quarter and all the timeouts, maybe a 7 or 8 minute rest, and only miss 2 minutes of the game. Payton's still in.
He hasn't rested a single second of this game. Up to Mobley. Now Sam Mack. 3 seconds to shoot. Olajuwon's going to have to force it. And luckily, the Rockets are bailed out by a foul. The shot clock was about to expire. Next Saturday, check out NBA Inside Stuff. Ahmad Rashad is in Phoenix to take Jason Kidd out to dinner for his birthday. What a touching gesture. Kidd talks about the importance of his family and the stability they brought to his life. Inside Stuff next Saturday on NBC. Speaking of which, here's Ahmad.
Yes, Bob, you will see Jason Kidd as you've never seen him before. Maybe you've seen him like that maybe a couple of times, but you're going to meet his wife, Timana, his new young son, and it's just, he is one of the top point guards in the league, and it's just my never-ending quest to bring you, Bob, the features that you want, and I got Jason for you next week.
You're the man. Olajuwon misses them both, meanwhile, and the Sonic lead remains at 4. Ellis with Mack up on him. For whatever reason, it isn't happening for Ellis this year the way it did last year. He's open out of the corner. Last year, he hit almost 48% of his three-point attempts. The yield on that is the same as hitting 69 to 70% of your twos. Pippen misses off the back iron.
And again, it goes back to they're not getting as many open shots, and with that, he's getting more contested shots, not shooting as high a percentage.
Payton with the head fake, slithers into the lane, deals out to Ellis. One over on Dale Ellis. A few misses will not discourage him.
No, you don't be a shooter in this league with backing away from open jump shots.
That's his first basket of the game. Sam Mack's three isn't there. Crotty scoops up the rebound. Shrimp on the wing. Hits the side of the glass with a wild attempt. Here's Pippen to Mack for the layup.
Shrimp got himself in trouble. He thought he was going to get the foul there, and he threw it up to get 2 shots, and the referee didn't bite on it and said, I'm not going to put you on the line taking that kind of shot.
In a close game, you'd have to guess Gary Payton isn't going to get much rest, if any, in the fourth quarter. They need him in there for both offense and defense, so he may play 48 minutes today. Payton misses the three. McCoy. And there's the horn. But McCoy was in there battling. The Sonics led by 15 at the half, by 17 early in the third, and now by just 4 as we prepare to start the fourth.
That shoots a bad percentage. What did Seattle do? They run. In the second half, it's been Seattle's poor shooting. Houston's running. Watch this now, Bob. Barkley's going to run backwards, and Olajuwon is going to tie his shoe, and they're still going to get a layup. Not the way Rudy T would draw it up. Barkley back to Scotty. Sam Mack lays it in the basket. Olajuwon ties his shoe, and they make it once again a 4-point game.
Not exactly textbook, but the end result was what they had in mind. As we start the fourth quarter, Olajuwon is getting a rest. Othello Harrington is in the lineup.
And Gary Payton getting his first rest.
Here's Pippen. Baseline jumper short. Barkley keeps it alive, saves it to Mobley. Mobley misses the long jumper. The rebound to McCoy, who has made his presence felt in the short time he's been in the game. Crotty, all the way to the hoop.
See, they really need him to play well. Again, getting back, Greg Anthony did such a good job last year resting Gary Payton. And if Gary Payton can get 2 or 3 minutes rest here and they keep a 6 or 7 point lead, he should be really fresh to finish this game.
Mack fakes the pass, now gives it up to Mobley. Here's Barkley. Tough shot, Shrimp had a hand in his face. But Harrington gives them a fresh 24. Mobley can't give them 3 points, and Crotty races out of there with the ball. He'll wait for his teammates to catch up. Jelani McCoy. The rookie pass.
Boy, he's really giving them a nice lift off the bench, not only with his defense and his energy, but that's a big shot. Now, Polonese is about 0 for 9 in this game. McCoy gives him a nice little post-up play.
And an 8-point lead. Nice pass from Pippen to the cutting Harrington, who was fouled.
Now, many times, Bob, they underestimate the speed of John Crotty. And you're going to see him take the ball to the basket. Barkley does not even see the man as he's face guarding his own man. And then McCoy, you're going to see him with a nice little jump hook in the lane here over Charles Barkley. So Crotty and McCoy doing a nice job off the bench to give them this 8-point lead now.
The foul was on Shrimp, his third.
See, one of the things, Bob, also, too, when you dig yourselves a big hole like the Rockets did, it takes a lot of energy to get yourself back into the game. Now the Sonics have pushed it once again. It's going to take another spurt, for the Rockets to win.
Here's Crotty unguarded to the right hand this time to score. They just opened up a path for him and invited him to take it to the hole. Meanwhile, Olajuwon and Pippen out of the lineup for the Rockets. Payton sitting for the Sonics. Sam Mack, head fake, 20-footer, got it.
Good ball movement again. You chase the guy off the 3. You've got to be able to put it on the floor and get that little intermediate jump shot, which Mack did.
Crotty, hesitation move. John Crotty is playing out of his mind right now.
He's a tough competitor. He played at the University of Virginia, had a terrific college career, and he's given them a huge boost.
With Payton on the bench, they've actually increased their lead, and Crotty is 5 for 5 in the game. Sam Mack spinning and drawing the foul. When Payton sat down, they were up by 4. He's got nearly 3 minutes worth of playing time on the bench, and this guy, Crotty, has stepped in and helped them increase their lead.
Well, he's doing it by getting to the basket. Here's a left-handed player. He's got the ball in his right hand. Nobody helps. You see Barkley again off the ball. Nobody giving any help. Crotty lays the ball in the basket, and then he follows it up the next time down the floor with another beautiful penetration between his legs. The high arching shot off the glass. 3 straight scores. John Crotty, a major performance here today for this Seattle team.
New York at halftime, we talked about sensational rookie Vince Carter. His Raptors hosting the Sixers. Here he is guarded by fellow Tar Heel alum George Lynch. Goes right over Lynch for the tough bank shot. Carter 3 for 4 tonight, 10 points. The Raptors lead the Sixers 46-35 as they look to extend the NBA's longest current winning streak to 6 games. Now let's go back to Bob, Doug, and Ahmad.
Hannah, thanks very much. Sam Mack is at the free throw line. This is his second tour of duty with the Rockets, reacquired, as Doug told you earlier, in a deal with Vancouver that sent the second-year player, Roderick Rhodes, to the Grizzlies. Mack played at the University of Houston, so he's popular in Rocket territory. He can bring them to within 6 if he hits this one. Despite the distractions, he does. Meanwhile, Payton continues to get what is now approaching an extended rest. Crotty. Shrimp turnaround. And it's back to 8. Shrimp with 14 points. Colonies approving from the bench. How many times have we seen this? Back in, bounce pass out high, then swing it to the other side. Mack on the drive, and he scores.
Well, he's done a nice job now, Bob. He's gotten the little medium-range jumper, the left-hand drive, and he got fouled for 2 free throws. So out of that possession, those 3 possessions, he has 6 points.
Crotty with a long one. He's 6 for 6. Barkley backs down, bounce passes out. They swing it from the top to the right wing, and Mack shoots. Shrimp with the rebound.
Keep the pressure on. Keep running. Right now you have the Rockets on their heels a little bit.
And cutting in front for the steal is Mack. They've got a break going, and Price shoots a 3 off it. And when you leave him that wide open, even a 3 is close to automatic.
Well, and Mack did not give him a good pass. He had to bend over. Well, you want to be able to get that shot in rhythm. Price did a nice job catching it and shooting it.
The lead is 5. Crotty to the hoop.
They're just waving at him. Bob, he's going to the basket.
A perfect 7 for 7. A season-high 15 points. That's his high, including his time earlier this year with the Trailblazers. The ball was kicked, and the Rockets will have it again. Olajuwon coming back. Payton and Polynice coming on now for the Sonics. Payton sat out nearly 5 minutes of playing time.
And they bought some nice minutes, a 7-point lead. And what you're also seeing with Rudy T, saying, guys, 7 minutes to go in the game. Look at him, missed 4 minutes and 51 seconds, but got over a 12-minute rest. That's a good job by Crotty in allowing him to be able to do that.
Mack for 3. Overshot it. Payton grabs the rebound. Pulls up, fires a 3. That was the first miss of the quarter for the Sonics. They had made their first 7. Now Mack is fouled in the backcourt. After a 5 for 24 third quarter from the floor, the Sonics are 7 of 8 in the fourth.
Rockets, the Jazz. Their last encounter came down to the wire with a mailman delivering the game winner. Now they meet again for Knicks Nets. Then the Sonics, the Lakers. Their 2 previous meetings were each decided by just 3 points. What's next for these rivals? An NBA on NBC doubleheader next Sunday at 2:30 Eastern. The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Honda, a winning lineup of cars, sport utility vehicles, and minivans. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher, helping you play longer and stronger when it counts the most. Gatorade, is it in you? And by Nike.
A great shot of the Space Needle of Seattle. 6:47 to go. The Sonics by 7, and it's been the John Crotty show here in the fourth quarter. 10 of his 14 points, and this is game speed. To give you a little idea of his speed and his tenacity of taking that ball to the basket, pulls back behind the three-point line and buries the three, and then once again lowers his head and takes it right to the basket. So John Crotty, a big lift off the bench and being rewarded by staying on the floor right now with Peyton and Hawkins.
And it goes to Price, who deals to Olajuwon for the quick jumper that's no good, and Hersey Hawkins has the rebound. Crotty is a gritty guy. He went undrafted out of the University of Virginia, played in the Global Basketball Association. Now the Sonics are his 5th team in 7 years. Just this past week or so, waived by Portland, picked up by the Sonics. Peyton. Polonies. There's his first real ball of the game.
You'd think he'd hit about 10 in a row the way he left his hand up there profiling.
Well, Olden has been known to court the camera. Spinning is Olajuwon. And he was fouled by OP.
OP's working on the saturation method today, Bob. The more shots you get up, something's going to go in. Finally gets one to fall here, and then afterwards he lets everybody know, I finally got one to go. And they're going to need that because they're going to help off of him the rest of the game.
You would have thought he was Michael Jordan at the end of the last game in Salt Lake City. Here's Olajuwon. Tough hoop for Akeem.
He actually shot that ball under McCoy's arm. As McCoy went up to block the shot, the ball actually went underneath his arm.
Seattle by 7. Price on Crotty. And a whistle from Steve Javy as they bump. The foul on Price is number 2.
Watch from the weak side now as McCoy comes to block this shot. You see Olajuwon really worming and squirming there in the post. Watch him actually miss that shot. I don't know how he did not block that shot.
Olajuwon reaching in, came away with the ball, but there's a Houston foul. And it's number 3 on the Dream. It'll be Sonic ball from the side. Hawkins to throw it in. 5.5 minutes left. Barkley to the scorer's table, and he checks in. Replacing Othello Harrington.
Rudy T has his team rested. Now he's got the guys he wants on the floor to finish the game. Let's see whether they can overtake the Sonics now.
Crotty again to the bucket. And finally he misses one. Back comes Pippen. Whips it inside to Olajuwon, who was fouled on the play. And he'll have a chance to cut it to 5. Next Sunday, Showtime tips off the action at 2:30 Eastern. It's followed by a doubleheader. First, regional coverage. Most of you will see the Rockets against the Jazz. Some will see the Knicks and the Nets. And then everybody gets game 2. These Sonics and the Lakers from the Forum. 2:30 Eastern time for the doubleheader start with Showtime on NBC. Doubleheader Tuesday on TNT, Magic Knicks, Jazz Lakers. So the Rockets get another shot at the Jazz next Sunday. After coughing up a 15-point lead Thursday night at the Delta Center, they've now lost 7 straight games to Utah, and they were knocked out of the playoffs each of the last 2 seasons by the Jazz. They lost 88-87 on Thursday night, and that snapped their 9-game winning streak. Barkley may have pushed on the rebound effort, and he did. And that really hurt. Olajuwon to the line, and for the second time in this game, he misses 2 at the stripe.
When you're trying to catch up, you cannot make those kind of mistakes. And Olajuwon knows that instead of a 5-point game now, the Sonics have it with a chance to go up 9 or 10.
Barkley's foul was his first. inside and hits.
You know it's coming, but you still can't stop it. Olajuwon is absolutely beautiful with his footwork around that basket.
16 for the Dream. Payton on the move. Holiday's with the tip try. And Barkley comes away with it, his 17th rebound. Pippen. They let him have the three. He accepts the invitation but misses. And a whistle on the rebound, a Houston foul. That's number 4 on Olajuwon.
Now, Bob, what's happening here with the Sonics is the Rockets are funneling everything in and wanting Olajuwon to block shots. So if Holiday's will be very active, he can get some offensive tip-ins because they're allowing guys to get to the basket and counting on Olajuwon to either block or change their shot.
Payton, head fake. Slithering through, finding Hawkins, and Hersey drills a three. The lead is 10, and as much as any stat, this tells the story. Seattle has hit 9 of 18 threes. Houston, 5 for 26.
Gary Payton once again in the lane, finding Hersey Hawkins for the jump shot. And Bob, we know shooting cures a lot of it.
The Big Apple. Hey, you guys think you got game? You got nothing. Home of the #1 world champion. Biggest and the baddest police. Ah, you ain't got nothing. You call that a squeegee? You call that a kiss? I'm gonna be late. Get a hotel room.
Ever wonder why New Yorkers have such big mouths?
You got nothing.
Because we eat big pizza, like the big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. 16 inches of real New York pizza dripping with cheese at a very un-New York price.
$9.99. What do you think this is, Indiana?
Seattle's shooting today, 9 for 18 from 3. And you can see Gary Payton, 3 of 9, but the rest of his supporting cast. Hersey Hawkins has shot a deadlift cramp Crotty. And the bench production so vital today. The jump shot by Ellis. You see the driving layup by John Crotty. The jump hook from Jelani McCoy. All these guys have been able to thwart the rally of the Rockets.
A week ago on national television here on NBC, Seattle was flat out embarrassed at Detroit. It looked like they didn't even want to play. They come back off a 5-game trip. They dropped 4 of them. They were a game under 500. This could be huge for them. And here's the steal. Payton to Crotty, to the basket. It won't drop. And Mack is there. Payton reaching in to try and knock it away. And there's a Seattle foul. But if they can win this game and win it in impressive fashion against a team that has a strong front line, and that's something that over the years has posed a problem for Seattle, this would be very important for them.
Well, if you think about it, you know, you talk about the Rockets against the elite teams, the teams above 60% winning this year. They beat Utah here early, Seattle. They've beaten the Lakers here. Now this would be Houston. Their record against the elite would actually be better than Houston's.
It's possible these teams could match up in the playoffs.
There's a great history between these two teams. There's no question. A great rivalry.
The positions are fluid, but Houston could wind up 3, and Seattle could wind up 6. Very possible. Rudy Tomjanovich will be the Olympic coach. These would be the pairings if they started today. Seattle would draw Utah, and Houston the Timberwolves.
The one thing now, Bob, that Sonics cannot do is get tentative, start using too much clock, and take tough shots. They've got to keep the pressure on, just like that. Drive it to the basket.
Crotty surrounded, and they ask for a timeout. It's a 20-second timeout. Folks, as you may know, Batman Forever, starring Val Kilmer, Nicole Kidman, Jim Carrey. Isn't Tommy Lee Jones in that one too? I believe he is. Tune in and check it out after the basketball.
I wish I could confirm that, but I can't.
You know, I mentioned Rudy Tomjanovich as the Olympic coach. There are 5 Olympic gold medals between Olajuwon, Pippen, and Barkley, but none of the current Rockets will be on the Olympic team. However, Gary Payton and Vin Baker will, from the Sonics. Payton did most of that damage in the first half, but Crotty has come off the bench in the second half to give them an enormous lift. Payton switching hands, dealing to Polynice, and he hits off the baseline. Polynice has almost no conscience. He missed his first 9 shots. Now he makes a couple. And he acts like he's Michael Jordan. Here's Olajuwon silencing the crowd for just a moment. With 3 minutes to play, they still trail by 8.
I played with a guy like that. World B. Freak could miss 20 in a row and think he was hot.
Payton left alone and knows what to do.
The Rockets just don't have any energy here to finish this game. Wide open shots. They're doing a lot of switching defensively, getting some mismatches, and Seattle's making them pay for it.
29 for Payton. Olajuwon with a spin move. It's stripped away by Polynice. Barkley reaches in and very wisely fouls him.
Well, Gary Payton is going to penetrate the lane. He sees the mismatch. Olajuwon has to help, and there's Polynice once again stepping in with that knuckleball and knocking it in, and then you see him a little styling as he goes down the floor. It's amazing when those shots go in, how it changes your attitude.
Here's Ahmad.
Hey, Bob, just when he made all that pose and then coming back down the court, Eddie Johnson looked over at me and said, he's the hottest 3 for 13 I've ever seen.
But not hot enough to hit from the foul line. Chris Dudley shot 32%. Here's Eddie Johnson, a great shooter who's been on the injured list the whole year for Houston. Chris Dudley shot 32% for a full year from the foul line when he was with the Cavaliers in '89. Dudley now with the Knicks. Polynice, who actually has made 2 of 4 now in this game, was at 24% for the abbreviated season coming in. Barkley quickly back to work. They need to score in a hurry. Charles can't. And they foul Schrempf. Barkley expressing his displeasure.
You know, Bob, in looking at Charles today, and Charles obviously has played very well the second half of the season, I think he has to be very careful not to get too heavy. You know, at this stage of his career, and I know he's been lifting and everything, but he's a guy with quickness and finesse, and it looks to me like every shot has been short today, and I think he has to really be careful not to get too heavy.
Now in his 14th season. Twice the NBA's 6th man of the year. Long with the free throw.
See Charles Barkley in the lane there. He missed that shot, doesn't get it up enough to the basket, and then you see his frustration afterwards, reacting, letting us know he's not happy with the way he has played here today.
By the way, the reason I mentioned Chris Dudley's 32% for the Cavaliers a decade ago, that's the lowest free throw percentage for anybody attempting 100 free throws or more in an NBA season. Olden Polynice has a chance to either better or fall beneath, depending upon how you look at it, that dubious mark. Jump ball called. Timeout asked for by Houston, 2:12 to play, and they trail by 12. Back to Key Arena in a moment.
Seattle pushed their lead back to 12, a much more comfortable team at home, not so much offensively as they are defensively. And Bob, you see this right here, their offensive production basically the same. The difference on the road here, 11-point difference there, and that's been their woes, the reason they struggle so much on the road.
Well, just on this last trip in San Antonio, the front line of the Spurs killed them. Then they went into Denver and made all-stars out of Nick Van Exel and even Chauncey Billups, who lit them up for a combined 63 out of the backcourt.
Well, your defense should always be consistent regardless of where you play. Sometimes you get a swing in offense because guys shoot better at home normally, especially your bench players come in, they're more comfortable. But on the road, your defense should always be consistent.
Brent Price committed the foul. A 5-game trip will come to an end for Barkley. And the Rockets, they'll apparently end it at 3-2.
Bob, you know, when I look out today, I see Scottie Pippen talking to Olin Polynice, and it takes me back to 1987 when I was in Chicago, and we were able to work a deal where Scottie Pippen came over in a trade with Seattle, and Seattle ends up taking Polynice, and in that same draft, you get Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant, which really changed the whole fortune of Chicago. The next year, you trade Brad Sellers for a pick, and you get B.J. Armstrong. So you could see in that draft there, Scottie Pippen, I remember we worked well into the night, and when that occurred, there was a tremendous amount of excitement in Chicago looking at Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant coming in there for the next 8 or 10 years to play with Michael Jordan.
I'll say that can safely be described as a very shrewd move. Here's Pippen, missing. The rebound is taken by Williams, who's surrounded and fouled as we move inside 2 minutes. A 13-point Sonic lead. But if you're just joining us, they led by 15 at the half, stretched it to 17 at the start of the third quarter, and Houston came all the way back and took the lead before the Sonics re-seized control of the game.
Well, it's almost like the Rockets had one good quarter. They shot the ball well in the third quarter because they played good defense and they were able to get some easy baskets. In quarters 1, 2, and 4, their defense was bad. They shot poorly, and the Sonics were able to capitalize by getting early offense.
Aaron Williams, in his 5th year in the NBA from Xavier, makes them both. Bumps off Williams and comes up short. Poked away, Barkley recovers it, lays it off for Price. Crotty is fouled, and he'll have a chance to pad his point total.
You know, when you look at Rudy T that coaches this team, you see Paul Westphal there as he's going through a tough time. But Ahmad talked about it to start the game. Rudy has to have great patience with his team. He has a young backcourt, but more importantly, Bob, he's got an older front line. And there's going to be games that there'll be stretches they don't have it. And Rudy has to be patient and live with that, knowing that hopefully come playoff time, a little bit more rest, they'll be a little bit more consistent with that.
1 of 2 for Crotty, who's contributed 16 points. Here's Sam Mack. And he's come off the bench to score 15 for Houston. Payton. 10 on the shot clock. Payton just weaving his way through the Rockets. Now dishes off to Aaron Williams. Contact with Olajuwon and a foul.
I'm surprised Rudy's not getting Olajuwon out of the game and Barkley at this stage. The game is basically over, and the last thing you want to do is maybe have him twist an ankle or something, and normally Rudy gets him out of the game when it's over.
And Barkley just fired the ball into the floor, causing it to bounce about 20 feet in the air. The officials, perhaps wisely not wishing to prolong the issue, ignore it and don't call a tee.
I still think Houston is stinging from that loss the other night. We talked to Rudy yesterday. Remember, Bobby said if you would go back to our last 14 games and erase 10 minutes, we'd be 14-0 during this stretch. We had a bad 5 minutes at Phoenix and a bad 5 minutes against Utah.
Last minute, Price for 3. Long rebound to Payton. Gary is fouled by Barkley and fouled pretty hard.
They're called flagrant.
Yep.
That's why I think you've got to get Charles out of the game here, because Charles will be known to do some of these things at the end of the game. You know, he's frustrated, not happy with the way he played.
Barkley leads with 9 points, but 19 rebounds.
Well, Charles has been rebounding the ball magnificently. Right now, his offense is just not where he wants it to be.
Payton angry. That could have been his 30th point. He has another one here.
It's a flagrant 1 foul, which means 2 shots in possession of the basketball. Flagrant 2 would be an ejection. But you see here Charles wrap him up. You know, he didn't go for his head or anything. I think it's the fact that he came down in an awkward position is the reason the referees called it.
No one pursuing Payton, just dribbling the time away. 10 on the shot clock. Trent into the lane, little running hook. Rebound to Olajuwon. Last 30 seconds. Off Price's fingertips. Seattle ball. Here's Gary Payton's line. He scored 30 points, pulled in 8 rebounds, had 4 steals and 7 assists.
Well, in our opening, we said he had to do it all. He had to create, he had to score, and he did it today. And you know what? The Seattle team showed me a lot today. After the 1-4 road trip, to come and get this kind of effort today is terrific. Remember, Bob, we saw them get demolished by Utah.
Crotty is allowed a 3, and he caps his game by canning it.
Remember how they came back against the Lakers after getting demolished by Utah early in the season with a big win? We've seen it twice now.
With that basket, Crotty winds up with 19 points. The Sonics crack the century mark with 101. And they wind up winning it by 17. But for a long stretch in the second half, it was a lot closer than that. In fact, the Sonics actually trailed in the second half. So again, the final score, 101-84. Join us next Sunday for an NBA on NBC doubleheader starting at 2:30 Eastern Time. Most of you will see the Jazz and Rockets. Some will see the Knicks and the Nets. In the second game, it's the Sonics and the Lakers. Coming up next, Batman Forever. Val Kilmer, Nicole Kidman, Jim Carrey. For Ahmad and Doug, I'm Bob Costas. This has been the NBA on NBC.